Is Vice Mayor on? I don't see his picture.
Sorry.
All right.
This conference will now be recorded.
So don't
You're
see
ready
him.
to go. You're ready to go, Mayor.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Town of Pembroke Park Special Commission meeting Wednesday, September 16th, 2020 at 6:30 p.m. Virtual meeting, virtual instructions. Notice is hereby given that the Town Commission of the Town of Pembroke Park, Florida will hold a virtual special commission meeting utilizing communications media technology in accordance with Governor Ron DeSantis Executive Order 20-69 dated March 20th, 2020 pertaining to conducting local government meetings while under the public health related emergency, the spread of novel coronavirus 19. Special commission meeting Wednesday, September 16, 2020, 6:30 p.m. You can use your telephone to dial in. You can use the toll-free number, which is 1-877-309-2073. That's 1-877-309-2073. Or if you'd like to make a toll call, you can call 1-646-749-3129. That's 646-749-3129. The access code is 533-894-645. That's 533-894-645. 2 hours prior to the meeting, you can submit a text or voicemail at 954-707-9820. Any member of the public wishing to comment publicly on any matter, including on items on the agenda, may submit their comments by email to townclerk@tppflorida.gov. That's TOWNCLERK@tppfl.gov. All comments submitted by email that are read orally or 3 minutes or less shall be read into the record. Any comments submitted by email shall be made a part of the public record. If any member of the public requires additional information about this town commission meeting or has any questions about how to submit a public comment at the meeting, please contact Marlene D. Martel, Town of Pembroke Park, 3150 Southwest 52nd Avenue, Pembroke Park, Florida, 33023. You may dial 954-966-4600, extension 235. With that, Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Howard, where's the flag? Oh, Howard, where are you?
You don't see him, but you see the
I
flag.
know, well, he should be on.
He's there. I see his arm. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Here, I don't see Howard's arm. Where do you see an arm?
Here.
Commissioner Jacobs,
Here.
Vice Mayor Clark.
I don't think
Here.
he's on.
Here.
Oh, you are on.
You can see
Okay.
me. I'm over on the right-hand side. You see me?
No, I can't see you.
Oh, then you got something wrong with your screen.
No, not at all.
Sorry.
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 Go ahead. Sorry about that, Gina. Next time, put on a wider face.
I'm here, Marlon.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Here, I'm going to just state this. There's a difference when you're looking at it from an iPad versus when you're looking at it from an actual computer. When you're looking at it from a computer, you actually have everyone on screen. There's currently 23 people on screen. So when you're on the iPad, you only see like 4 or 5 people, but with the computers, you see everything. Okay, with that being said, are there any additions, deletions, or withdrawals to the agenda? I know that item 7A has been asked to be withdrawn.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Mayor, if I could just reserve time at the end, I wanted to speak about a letter that the town received from the Broward County Sheriff's Office regarding payment for services been rendered to the town from April through September.
Okay. Okay, so there's 1 addition and 1 deletion. Is that correct? Is there anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to adopt the amended agenda to withdraw 7A and to add the BSO services rendered from April through September. Howard, I see your mouth moving, but I can't hear you.
I am so sorry. Okay, so delete 7A. I make a motion that we adopt this amended agenda, delete 7A, and then add on about the BSO invoices or bills that Attorney Ryan has brought up.
Okay. Is there a second?
A second.
By Vice Mayor Clark, seconded by Commissioner Cohen. Commissioner Cohen?
Yes.
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Jacobs?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Mohammed? Mayor Mohammed, I can't hear you.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay. 6A, public, yes.
you have a delay on your screen for some
Can
reason.
you hear me now? Okay.
Delay between your voice
Oh,
and your picture. It's okay. Let's see how it goes. Keep talking. It's okay.
uh-oh. Okay. 6A, public hearing, support to proceed with grant Vice Mayor Clark, Interim Public Service Director grant program through FDACS for the Agricultural Education and Promotion Facilities. And there's a resolution. So Howard, unmute.
Oh, Madam Mayor and Commissioners, so this is a project that we started last year, but we soon discovered that we couldn't verify the count. So as everybody that was out there with the food giveaway, you saw either Miriam or Joy keeping count of everything. And so now we're in a position where somebody could certify those numbers. So we're ready to move forward with this project. The first part is the public hearing where we need input from the public. And I hope that Connie is online so she can kind of work us through this thing and explain if you have any questions. Is Connie there outside?
I unmute everybody.
So Connie?
Vice Mayor, before she comes on, if you don't mind, I could go ahead and just read the summary of the proposed improvements.
Yeah.
And then that will give
Yeah.
everybody an idea what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay, so the town
right.
is seeking,
Okay, but I have.
the town is seeking grant funds from the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services through their Agriculture Education and Promotion Facility Program. It would be a grant funding of $950,000 is being requested that will allow the town to construct a structure for educational events. Appropriate indoor funds will be used for planning, design, permitting, bidding, and construction of the agro-eco learning center building, and to expand the food giveaway shelters. The new agro-eco learning center would be one-story, 2,750 square foot building within the Ryan Park. The building would be comprised of classroom space, restrooms, and office and kitchen facilities. The scope of the work is to design and construct the learning center building, to provide an indoor educational facility to hold seminars, workshops, and guest speakers and similar matters. The current 1955 recreation building located in the Ogilvie Preserve is outdated and needs to be replaced. The new learning center would provide 2,050 square feet of usable space for the town to enhance their educational programs and goals for and to be sure that no one goes hungry, and the Town of Pembroke Park program will be able to continue, and to eliminate a food desert in the South Broward area. The funding would be $76,000 for the design, which is estimated it would take 6 months, and then construction would be $874,000 over, and that would take over a period of 12 months. The match information, the town would have to match 64.5%, and the town's match would be the contribution of the property for the project, and that would be valued at $1,472,000.
Okay, Attorney Ryan?
Yes.
Okay, and I think there is also resurfacing of the parking lot and striping where necessary. But the resurfacing is that whole area out there. But maybe, is Connie here? That's what I'm looking for. Is Connie here?
Vice Mayor Clark,
Yeah.
can you hear me? It's David Sigerson. I spoke with her before the meeting, and suggested that she be on hand, and she said she would. She may be having difficulty.
Okay.
She seemed pretty certain that she was going to be available. So let me
Okay.
try and call her.
Yeah, in the meantime, we'll handle it as much as
Okay.
we can, then bring her on. So we
Okay.
don't tie up the meeting. So basically, we're extending and going over the canopy, and that is for the staging area, and that'll be for events, you know, and the mayor, her baby of the food giveaway, and we could have a farmer's market and anything. That'll be a staging area. And what we're talking about is putting in those 3 areas, like little squares, to make it where it's complete, and then redoing the canopy fabric, and then resurfacing that whole area, and with the intent of keeping the sun off everybody. I think, as Ray and Jeffrey knows, and the mayor and myself, that part of it took some really heavy heat, and this will give a little more shade. And the other is the building, and the building will be beautiful to help promote and educate our kids, our families, everybody in Pembroke Park and surrounding area about agriculture and sustainability of planting. And we already have one newsletter that went out. You all got a copy of it, and that mentions all of you about where you were involved in these different programs that we're doing. In addition, we're having a public hearing right now, and that is establishing where, if anybody has any comment from the public, that they can come forth and comment. I have one question about Attorney Ryan, if I may, Attorney Ryan, regarding the resolution. I might as well tell you that now.
Okay.
Okay, and it says that the third whereas down, whereas the town commission desires to demolish the current facility. The current facility is not part of this. This is going to be built as a new construction and separate from the old facility. So unless if Connie's not here, if Miriam could chime in. Miriam, is that
That's
true?
fine. Then that could be limited. It's not included in the scope of the application. But we can just say that the commission desires to construct the new facility, and we'll leave out any reference to the current facility.
Yeah, and that's more accurate, I believe. But if there's anything contrary to that, then they would have to come forward right now, Connie or Miriam.
Connie's
Okay,
on.
who- Connie's on the line now?
She is.
There is nothing contrary.
Oh, okay, so it is what we said. It's a brand new building out. And if Connie is here, she could give any more detail that the commission wants. She's going to be applying for the grant, and it looks really well. And again, congratulations to Connie, Miriam, and Dan for getting it all established to this point. And we're putting the land up, the Ryan Park, the food forest, the orchard, the community garden, the food giveaway area. That's all being pledged for this grant.
Gina had her hand up. Connie says she's called in.
Thank you.
Connie, are you unmuted?
Is she
Yes,
on?
I'm on.
Phone call.
She's number
Let
4.
her, you can let her speak first, Mayor. You want her to speak?
Yeah,
I'll ask the question.
yeah.
And then I have a couple of questions.
Okay. Connie,
I've missed your language because I was getting phone calls and texting. So Commissioner, Vice Mayor,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What was there a specific question you wanted me to address?
Yeah, in the resolution that Attorney Ryan prepared, I noticed on the third whereas down, whereas the town commission desires to demolish the current facility and construct a new facility. I think that's not true. We're not going to demolish the old building.
Yeah, that was never discussed.
Okay, so Attorney
in the
Ryan,
scope of work.
so that's incorrect. So he's stating that he could just strike demolish, and they're going to, and the current facility, and then just add and construct a new facility. Is that correct, Attorney Ryan?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, and Connie,
Yeah,
we've added two more things to it, and that is to upgrade or expand the canopy, the staging area, which is also used for the food giveaway, and resurface the entire parking lot out there and restripe it where necessary. So there's really like three elements to this. Would you agree with that? Is that where you're at now?
correct. Yes, we did expand the canopy covering area, and because of all the construction traffic and everything, the drive and the parking area will need to be fixed.
Yeah, resurfaced
Yeah,
and repair, rehabilitated, whatever you want to use. But it'll be
yeah.
like
And I'm reading through the resolution, and it must state that it's for agricultural education and a promotion facility and serves a public purpose. That needs to be part of the resolution too.
Okay, Chris, did you hear that?
Yes.
So I believe, Madam Mayor, Commissioner Cohen had a question or a couple of questions. And
Yes, I do, and you saw my hand up, but thank you. Yes, Howard, how do you, you're saying that you got a count. How do you utilize that? I mean, how did you get a count from the food drive? You said that you got a count from the food drive.
That's part of it. You could ask.
I mean, how can you calculate that and determine that when that was just a temporary thing, and a lot of those people weren't even Pembroke Park. They were coming from all over South Florida. That was feeding South Florida. So I don't understand where you're saying there's a count, and then the other thing you answered the demolishing the building. I'm glad that was corrected. Because I was totally against that, but now that you explained it, I'm fine with that. But as far as your count, I'm very uncomfortable with that.
Okay, so let me try to answer.
As well, he had his hand up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but let's answer one problem at a time, one issue at a time, one question. So, Madam Mayor or Miriam or Joy, the three people that also know about the counting, they're out there counting and counting for the whole park for the whole time, not just the food giveaway, but specifically about the food giveaway. I believe Gina was asking, what did you say? How was that done? How? Okay. So if you could get Madam Mayor.
Can I go ahead and try to shed a little bit of light on that? Okay. Gina, that park is used by not only residents, but by everyone. We don't have someone standing at the gate checking his CIDs. So as long as the park is being utilized by the public, which is what it is, it's a public park, the number of people coming through there is what makes that count. It doesn't matter what the events are, it's how many people are coming through there. So they've been able to do a calculation, because every single time we have a food giveaway, we take account of how many cars come through the parking lot. And we also have everyone's information, because they also fill out forms every time they come to get food. So that's how we've been able to establish a count, by having someone there counting the cars as they come through. That is the requirement. It does not have a requirement of if they're a resident of Pembroke Park. It has a requirement of how many people actually utilize the park. So they've been doing a count for that every single morning. There's also boot camps and things like that, joggers, everything like that. You have all those people coming through on a daily basis. So they've been keeping a running track of how busy the park is, how much is being utilized. We're not checking IDs. It's a public park.
Okay. No, you explained it well. Thank you, Mayor.
And Commissioner Cohen? Okay, another thing is that they were there counting. In other words, a staff member was actually there when the count. Okay, so.
So that's how you got your calculation. Okay.
And
Thank you.
just to elaborate a little more, last year, we started this, as Connie knows, and Miriam, and what happened was we ran into a roadblock where we couldn't actually determine that number. So that's why this whole year, since last year, at different events, different times, like the mayor was explaining, we would get a count on the people. Okay, so that's how we got the numbers.
Okay. And we're gonna get a grant for this?
Yeah,
And,
that's what we're applying for.
okay. The town's not paying nothing, correct?
I don't know if they're not paying nothing, but it's working.
I mean, we
out.
don't have the money. I
It's,
just want to make sure that I don't,
I think,
well, you know what I'm gonna ask,
The
Harry,
land value. Gina,
Huh?
our match is the land value.
I understand that. Okay.
so, it may be Connie, can you explain that? The match?
The match, the land can be used as a match. And we have, according to the property appraiser's office, the land value is over 1.4 million, and that is more than sufficient match to make the 40%. It exceeds the 40% requirement. There is no if there is no cash necessary.
Well, that was my concern. Thank you, Connie, for answering that.
You're quite welcome.
Okay, Madam Mayor, if we could
Are there any other
have,
questions?
Madam Mayor, if we could have Ryan, if Ryan could go to the next step.
Well, the next step is to go ahead and open the hearing to the public. See if there's, first, if the clerk has received any public comments. And
Hello, I've been asking to ask some discussion in this. I'm being ignored again.
I did not see your hand. Go ahead, Jacob.
I got issues with this. You're using this paperwork from Feeding South Florida that's a requirement for these people coming through for food, and you're trying to use their forms for town purposes. I'm wondering where that falls on infringing people's rights. That form was filled out specifically for Feeding South Florida. It wasn't filled out for the town. Yes, someone did keep account. Usually it was a volunteer because I was there at most of these food drives. But that was food drives. Okay, that's where the counts came from. But using this data that was obtained for Feeding South Florida as a requirement for these food drives for other uses other than what that form was for, I think is unacceptable.
Okay. The forms were sent to Feeding South Florida. The number count was the actual cars driving through the parking lot. There is a cardboard every single week. You were there, you saw the cardboards. There's pictures of the cardboards on Facebook of the actual counts of the number of cars that came through. Yes, they were volunteers that were keeping the count. Sometimes they were employees. Miriam has kept count several times. You've had different people keeping count. That's part of the numbers. Other numbers include the number of walkers that are coming through in the morning time, the number of people playing football in the evening time. It's a constant track of numbers of people utilizing.
But I'm saying the forms were for Feeding South Florida only for
The
the
forms are
purpose
for
of that.
Feeding South Florida. We did not send those forms over or attach them to the grant. Well,
No, I realize that, but those forms were utilized in the process of this, and they shouldn't have been. They should have gone to Feeding South Florida, every
Those
single one
forms
of them.
did go to Feeding South Florida. Those forms went to Feeding South Florida. The numbers that they utilized were the cardboard box that they kept track of the numbers on. As each car went through, they did a Roman numeral going across the page
Sure, I was there. I watched it being done, okay? I watched who did it. It was volunteers. It wasn't always Miriam. It wasn't always a staff employee. It was whoever was up there at the time. You know, I started taking count for one of the things and then passed it off to someone else. I was there for that. I know what you're talking about. You know, a lot of this.
That was the only
I don't
requirement.
remember
was
all of
just to
this
have a number
coming
count.
forward. All of the new building. I thought we were doing a walkway and a tent. Now we're talking about buildings and all sorts of other stuff.
No, the walkway, Commissioner Jacobs, is a FDACS grant that was
Right.
for
There's
a limited
grant
number.
for that. And then we were talking about the awning, the cover for the other part of the parking area out there. That was it. I don't recall a building and everything else being part of this. This is all new to me.
The
That's
building
not-
has been
that's not
discussed
true.
For years. The building
Yeah.
has been a part of our discussion for years prior to you even
Yeah.
coming on board.
And we just brought that up and you were opposing it, Jeffrey, last meeting. You were opposing it. It's not new. This has been talked about.
Well, I find some things suspect around here, you know, and I'm on my toes for everything that's going on around here because I'm feeling really uncomfortable with y'all.
May I? And you know what? I have to say, I'm really confused on this. Can we maybe table this? And I'd like to get some more information on it because I know that we've been talking about buildings for a while, but then this just came forward at the last meeting. And I really didn't have a lot of information on this. And now we're talking more and more things. And I'm really confused and I'd like to get more knowledge on this item. So if we maybe can wait so I can talk to maybe the manager and sit down and maybe with the attorney and
Go ahead, Howard.
and
Yeah,
learn
Matt.
more about this.
Madam Mayor, we're on a deadline. That's why this meeting had to come to this date. We've been talking about and doing this for a long time. And it's an opportunity to not only get a building, but a center, but to also get the staging area that we've been using, and we could use it for many things, have that included and resurfacing. So, you know, we talked in the past about these different items and they would have cost a lot of money. Okay, that was the problem. We had brought the canopy up, so it's not new. Canopy has been discussed. This is a way to get a grant for it. And so it's, you know, it's not new and we've been talking about it. So that's why this meeting we have to do it. So let's go.
I agree that we have discussed
Go ahead.
remodeling the
Gina had
building.
her hand up and then Ray had his hand up.
Go ahead. Go ahead, let Commissioner Jacobs speak and I'll speak.
I'm just saying, you guys you discussed remodeling that building or possibly tearing that building down. What I'm looking at here is like now you're proposing a 2,750 square foot new building and a multi-purpose staging area. I've not seen this. This is the first I'm seeing.
Mhm.
So, you know, this is new. This isn't the remodeling of the building. This is just being thrown out here. And it's not a workshop. This is a meeting. So, you know, again.
Howard, do you want to address that? Or do you want to have someone pull the minutes from like how many years now? That
No,
we've
I
been
don't.
discussing it?
I think I think this has been out there and we have to have this today to meet the October 1st deadline. So we have talked it. We never had it where we could put all the elements together. That is new, addressing all the issues over there that we've had in the past. And this puts it all to rest. And so I think that's really phenomenal that we could do that. So after discussing it, Madam Mayor, call the roll because we're just repeating
Ray
itself.
Ray had a question. well. So I
Okay.
want to give Ray the opportunity to answer his question. And I don't know if, I don't think they were there. Gina, you went to the building when we had the kids here from the 5th grade at the park, correct? Gina, okay. When we had the event at the building for the 5th graders, do you remember that? And how we had to step over those kids and we said we needed a new facility because the schools wanted to do more events with the agro garden? Do you remember that?
I remember the kids in that, but I don't remember us talking about having a new building. I remember we talked about remodeling, doing this, renovations, but I don't remember that, Mayor, honestly. And it was a long time ago. And I have concerns too, because I want to know when all this happens, who's going to be paying who and where's this money going to come back? I mean, is staff going to be doing this? I mean, is this for volunteers?
Connie, you could answer that. This is
That's-
a grant. Connie,
But who's going to be paying these people, Howard?
that's what
We're
she's going to
having
tell
prob-
you.
But we're having problems now with the community garden because
Okay, no.
we don't have any
no,
volunteers.
That's not true. Okay, Madam Mayor, Connie can answer this.
Okay, and then I want to address Ray's question because Ray had his hand up
Yeah.
and he's waiting patiently and everybody keeps jumping in front of him. Go ahead, Connie, and then Ray.
The application is for the grant. If the grant is awarded, the grant administration can be done however the commission prefers. If you prefer to be done in-house, it's your choice. If you want me to do the grant administration, I'd be happy to.
Hello?
Howard, mute your phone, or somebody, whoever answered their cell phone, mute it, please. Okay. Ray, go ahead. What's your question?
My question is for Connie. Are we obligated to use the grant, or can we just apply for it and then later on decide if we're going to use it or not?
No, you are not. You are not obligated. If you're awarded the grant, you would have a document, that it would have to be signed. You don't have to accept it if you don't want to. It's just an
Okay.
application.
Go ahead, Commissioner Jacobs.
Connie, I have a question for you. Are you okay with
Yes,
using
sir.
these numbers they provided?
They have documentation and backup. The numbers are to serve the public. If you can serve the public with 25,000 or more is the venue. If you can and do promotion of education of the agriculture, and they want to see that you can serve more than 25,000 people. And this past log shows the amount of people, the public that's been served through the park, through your various programs. And you have educational things. The food giveaway is part of it. And the future projection is also information that they also would like to see, what your events are planned for the future and what you anticipate. It's like a proposal of the events you plan to do and the amount of folks that the public is to be served. And it's not just the residents. It can be statewide.
Okay. So I have a suggestion. We have another budget meeting again next Wednesday, and seeing how this didn't come up on a workshop to go over, and we're kind of getting blindsided with this whole thing. I think we should table this item till next Wednesday when we have the second budget meeting, and do this as another special then, which gives us time to go over everything here. Because I don't have time to sit here and read all of this unless you guys want to sit here and wait. Go through all of it.
Okay, I disagree with that. This has been talked about. We've gone over it, the concepts, the ideas, and we need to move forward with this. It's not new, and let's, one way or the other, it's going to be go forward or it's not. So I think we should call the roll on it, and it's either up or down. Simple as that. Madam
Okay,
Mayor?
prior to calling the roll, once the commission discussion has concluded, you need to open the up to the public so that the public can provide comment on the proposed application. Then once that public comment has been received, then the commission would have the resolution read and then the vote. That would be the sequence.
Okay, so take the next step. Who's going to open up the public hearing, Marlon? Or the mayor? One or the other?
Jacobs has another comment, then I'm going to open it up to the public. Go ahead.
And just, Ray, for clarification, if you do get a grant and you give the grant back, it doesn't look good. It doesn't make the town look good. You wasted all that opportunity for anyone else that could have had that grant. So it's not a good thing to take a grant and then give it back. You know, if you get a grant, you're supposed to be using it.
And Ray, or Madam Mayor, Ray and the commission, these are items that we talked about. We want to resurface the parking lot. We want to improve the canopy so that we have a better staging area. We said that we were going to, we looked at all different ways. We remodel, we build new, and we decided that we'd go new. In fact, I think the mayor even said, put it down in the record, because we finally agreed that we're going to build new. So this is not all something that we're just now coming around to do. So it's important. These are the improvements that we've been talking about, and the ones that actually go out there. We know we all want an improved canopy, new building, and resurfacing and striping. It's a pretty good deal. And on the other hand, if we don't take advantage of this opportunity, then look what we lost for the community. So it goes both ways. If you give it back, it's bad. If you don't do it, it's bad. So that's my comments, Madam Mayor. I'd like to call.
I have, may I, Mayor?
Go ahead, Gina.
You know, you keep on saying, you know, this is, I haven't seen any volunteers. I've seen nobody really involved in this, Howard. And you know, I don't know why, what it would hurt to wait another week so at least I could get some more knowledge on this, because I don't have it. And we are being blindsided. Maybe you others don't feel that way, but Jacob is right. And that's the way I'm feeling right now. So, you know, I don't know what another week would hurt.
All you had to do was go out there, and half of the food giveaway.
I've been out there, Howard, and I've been around there.
Okay.
And the only time people are coming out when you're giving the food out. That's it. Yeah. But as far as the garden goes, there's nobody but you out there, and you got staff working it.
That's not true.
Yes,
that
it is
not true. Oh, that's not true.
All right, I'm going to stop you guys for a minute, just because this is then going into all 50 million directions. Okay. As far as the garden is concerned, you have hands-on power that's out there that garden. Can everyone please mute? I'm hearing a whole heap of noise, and it makes it hard to hear. All right, every single week, the hands-on Broward comes out there and they help with the community garden. You have residents that come out all the time. You actually have been signing papers for kids to get their community service hours so that they can get their cords for graduation. Even though I'm not out there, they call me to come in to sign their forms so that they can get their community service hours. Okay, this has been happening on a regular basis now. When we first started the garden, yes, we had the Makalele people who were out there that were actually doing the stuff in the garden. And Makalele was actually giving a discount to all of the kids whose parents volunteered, whose kids were volunteering. They were actually getting a 25% discount on their tuition to go to karate school. So you've had a lot of people in the community that have come out from different areas, whether it was the Makalele people, whether it was people who were on 52nd Avenue, because you still have the people from 52nd Avenue that comes out every week that does stuff in the garden. That's number one. Number two, we've had this discussion before. We've been talking about getting a new building forever. We've been talking about remodeling the building. I was against remodeling the building because of the fact that there's so much damage that has been with this building. And the fact that there's so many complaints. Chris has sent over numerous email after email about the building flooding, about the deterioration in the walls, and the deterioration in the fact that it actually, there's mold in there. There's not even bathrooms. There's not enough adequate facilities. Ray's complex is one of the complexes that actually use the building to have their homeowners meetings, as well as a couple of other buildings on 52nd Avenue. And the city hall to do those meetings for those community center, the community apartment meetings, the homeowners meetings, and things like that. So the building is being utilized, as well as the community garden. We've been having this conversation for a long time. This stuff was brought up at the last meeting. It's not anything new. When you have an opportunity, you need to take advantage of it. We've been talking about this for years, and I'm not quite sure why all of a sudden people are acting like this is brand spanking new. This is to apply for a grant. To apply for a grant that we are not going to have to come out of our pocket $900,000 to build a building that this community so desperately needs. We need new facilities in the town of Pembroke Park. It's not fair to our residents to not get applying for a grant when it only betters the community. So I kind of find this like, I'm kind of find this like appalling that we're having a conversation to say, hey, no, let's not take advantage of applying for a grant to get a new community center for our community, especially when we've been talking about it. So go ahead, Gina.
I understand what you're saying, Mayor. And, I just would like to just table it so I could get a better understanding. That's all I'm asking, because I really don't understand a lot of this. And, Howard's saying that I have never seen any volunteers in that garden, and I'm out there all the time driving around. So, and the only ones I see working it is our staff people. So for Howard to say that, it's untrue. And
That's not
okay, and
true.
let me ask you, do you have any application? Has any volunteers submitted application? We used to do application, but under my understanding, the way I'm hearing it, a lot of them quit, they left. So you don't have any volunteers there.
That's not true. That's
Howard, okay, then show
And,
me
well, that's what, okay.
I'm going
I'd
to
like
stop
to
y'all
talk
again.
about this.
I'm going to stop y'all. I'm going to stop
Okay,
you.
all right.
Okay, Stephanie can provide you with, I'm assuming Stephanie, Miriam, whoever can provide you with the hands-on Broward sheets. Miriam has been signing a lot of the kids community service. I've been signing the kids community service hours as well. I have not been taking copies of them. I've just been signing them when the kids show up and they call me to come over to sign. Okay. Unmuted. That's something to say, and I know Ray has unmuted, and afterwards I'm going to call the roll because the motion is on the floor, and the call of the question has been asked.
Madam Mayor, could you open up the public hearing? Let's move it forward.
Hold on, I have a question. This question is for Connie. If we waited another week, would we have sufficient time for the grant?
Connie's going to have to unmute. I do know the earlier you get your grants in, the more time you have to work with the staff to go over any deficiencies.
I understand that, but we have two commissioners that need more information. I think we should respect that.
Thank you, Ray, for that.
Connie, are you there? Mark, can you unmute them? I'm sorry. I don't know.
Yeah, they're unmuted, Mayor.
Okay,
They're unmuted.
Connie,
They just have to unmute themselves.
Connie?
Would this be an opportunity to go ahead and open the public hearing? And then if you wanted to do that, take comments from the public. And then you can also, after the public comments, you can resume your discussion.
Excuse me, Mayor, it's David Sigerson.
Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, I spoke with Connie, before the meeting and actually on numerous occasions on this point that I don't have the camera, so I'm not sure I believe that was Commissioner DeVille who was raising the issue of can we wait a week? Here's the thing, and Mayor, you're right. The sooner that you get your application in, the more time the staff will work with you on deficiencies or things that they see about your application that are concerning or that are just simply, you know, absolute deficiencies. That way you have time to cure those things. And Connie has established a little bit of a rapport with the department that are evaluate these grants, and they've already helped her some, and I believe that they will, you know, I think she believes that she will be able to unmute. I'm sure she's there. She
I'm
would
here.
tell you the same thing. Oh, Connie, okay, you want to speak for yourself?
Yes.
Connie?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me now? I'm not muted. I'm on the speaker. Can you hear?
We can hear you.
Okay. The public hearing is needed and the resolution is needed to accompany the grant application. I wanted to be able to have submit it to the department early in order for them to go over it to see if we have any RFIs or any additional information that they might want. The actual deadline is October 1. So the meeting on the 23rd, if everything's if there would be no changes in everything, I could submit it to them on the 25th, if that would be acceptable to the commission. Hello.
Okay, JC, you unmuted.
Yeah, I just wanted to say something. I mean, I've been, this is obviously my 4th month here, and I've witnessed a number of commission meetings, and an item like this will come up and stir a lot of emotions and a lot of dialogue, if you will. I think in this situation here, and I've heard over my 4 months here, I've heard about the canopy, I've heard about the resurfacing, and I've even heard about the poor condition of the building out there. I think what the frustration is, and I don't know, I may be wrong, and if I'm incorrect, please correct me, because I don't have the minutes in front of me of the last I don't know how many years. I'm not sure if the commission as a whole has ever taken an official action to say, hey, we do want to replace this building. I don't know if the commission has taken an official action to say, hey, we do want to replace this canopy, or hey, we do want to do this. It may have been mentioned in passing, but there's a difference between mentioning and then a difference between taking official action. And this is something that I'm trying to correct. And as you saw with all these capital projects, I want to present them to you so that you guys can vote on them and approve them. And that way we avoid a situation like this saying, hey, we didn't know about this. So unless I'm wrong, because listen, this could have been in a meeting a year ago and I wouldn't know that this was approved. But I think that's where the frustration comes in. I don't know if anybody here in their right mind would turn down a $900,000 grant, you know, but me as a town manager, you know, I don't know if this includes design. If we have to pay for the design fees, then if I have to do that this year, then that's not included in this year's budget. So if I have to design a $900,000,
excuse me, Mr. Manager, that's one of the components of the project is the design and the construction.
Oh, perfect. And then good. So that's great. But again, going back, I think the frustration is that maybe the commission hasn't taken an official action to say, hey, we're going to replace this building. This is going to be the project. But I may be wrong. And Vice Mayor, you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, okay. On the canopy, yes, we have taken action, and we found out that the prices came back, but we were going to have to take the money out of the general fund. And so right away, when it came back up, we suggested that we'll go out and look at different alternatives to overcome that obstacle. So yes, we did on that one. We did also on the building, except for the building, we went both ways. We went renovation, new, renovation, new. Then we finally decided, okay, we'll do new. And I believe there was official action on it. And that's where we've been headed ever since. Because I remember the mayor saying, whoever was the clerk, Shira, Madam Mayor, you said, make sure you put that down in writing. Because what was really going on, I thought we could remodel cheaper or more reasonable, not necessarily cheaper. And that didn't turn out to be the case because there's just so many problems in there. We addressed that a couple years ago when we went through this whole thing about starting the grant to begin with. And so, I mean, it's been discussed and there has been official action. And, you know, and I think that we need to go forward.
And that may very well be the case. I'm just saying that it seems like there's clearly a disconnect. And what I'm trying to do is kind of explain, I guess the frustration, and then I could see where you guys, where you would be frustrated because you guys have talked about it, but I can see how that becomes a source of frustration and where the disconnect may come in. I'm just trying to point that out.
Yeah, but it's not exactly that. I just explained. The issue came up about the canopy, the holes in the
Oh, I know the canopy. I know the
but
canopy.
Wait a minute, Mr. Manager, JC. Did we take official action? Yes, we did. Staff was directed to go out and get quotes. They did. And when it came back, you know, $28,000 to $40,000 for that.
Yeah, for the canopy,
and,
yeah.
And so the paving.
Master project list, was that last year or the year before? It was on the master project list that we took the steps of looking for an engineer to actually do the design for this project.
Yeah, but that's why let's go forward, vote it up or down. It's needed. Like you said, we would be crazy not to take it when all these things we really need. And from what I'm hearing right now, we might have to demolish that building, that other building. And that's going to cost a lot of money. And it's not included in any grant when we start building new. So we're going to need a facility so that when we do demolish that other building, we'll have some place where everybody will be able to go. And there's just so many groups out there and people using it, and people have birthday parties. I mean, it's just a positive. It's a positive. And it would be a shame that we lose this opportunity. And let's open up the public hearing, Madam Mayor, and call the question.
Jacobs has one more comment, and then I'm opening it to the public.
I just want to say the last year and a half I've been here, yes, I've heard about the linear walkway. Yes, I heard about the $45,000 canopy to put up out there. Yes, we have discussed tearing down that building or remodeling that building, but never have we discussed building a new building somewhere else and just leaving that one there. I do not recall that whatsoever.
I had that conversation. Tom even staked it out when he wanted to put it in the parking lot.
Hey, don't cut me off. I'm talking here. Okay?
Cut me off all the time, sir.
I don't recall having that conversation over a new building. Telling you I don't recall it. Ray, do you recall having that discussion? I don't ever recall that discussion about building a new building. I remember either tearing that one down and building a new one or remodeling that one. That was the only discussion we had, and that was a long time ago. Since that, I haven't heard a thing about it. So this is like getting blindsided with the whole new amount of information that just came out of nowhere, because linear walkway, yes, that's come up. The $45,000 canopy, yes, that's come up. But a new construction building, that's all new. So the lack of communication going through here, it is. So it is what it is. So I'm telling you my side. I do not recall this discussion. So
okay. So I'm going to ask that you get with Marlon and go through the minutes and find out where it is, because of the fact that it has been a discussion that's come up numerous times. It's also been listed on the when we were actually looking to do the master projects with Vitas, with Bob Vitas, and you were here when Bob was here, where you were back and forth coming through the meetings when Vitas was here.
I was not here when Bob Vitas was here.
You came to the meetings as a
not when Bob Vitas was here.
You didn't come to the meetings?
No, I did not.
Vetus had the discussion, Tom had the discussion. They even mapped out putting it in the parking lot, which is something I was upset about because of the fact that it was going to take the parking spots from when the Canadians have their picnic. So this is not something new. This has been an ongoing thing that has been discussed numerous times. Okay, so with that, I do have, there is a motion on the floor. So
May I one more time, Mayor, please?
Okay, but when I finish,
Okay.
with this being that it's on the floor, and the fact that the earlier you submit a grant, the earlier you have the ability to take the time to work with the grant agency to correct any problems so that you have a better chance at getting the grant awarded. If you send it in on the 25th, you're not going to have an ample opportunity to have back and forth dialogue with the agency to fix anything, or if you need to have special meetings to get more points, you're not going to have that opportunity. So that's why, for me, I would like to move this forward because of the fact that, again, this has been discussed for a long time. It's been a number of years that this has been discussed. Okay, Gina, go ahead and ask your question, and then I'm opening the public comments because we need to move forward.
No, I don't remember us talking about a new building, Mayor. I remember us talking about renovation of the building, the building that exists now. That's it. All right.
Okay, that's fine. You're gonna have
All
to
right. No, I have to go through the minutes. All right. Thank you.
There was plenty of discussion. Tom was the one that had actually staked out the parking lot where the Canadians do their picnics. And that's where he wanted the new facility to go. And I'm not sure if you're still in communication with Tom, but Tom can tell you. Because we had a lot of discussion back and forth where I was like, why would you put it in the parking lot? You're going to take away from the parking lot when there's 27 acres there. So I know that you were very close to Tom.
Yep. Madam Mayor,
Yes, sir.
you've been saying new building forever, and you finally, and so we had to go out and search and find a way to do it. Now you have that way, and all of a sudden everybody has amnesia. Not everybody, but some people. And that's a shame because this is an opportunity to take care of a lot of issues over there. And we're going to have a brand new structure. So that's all I'm going to say. We're just repeating ourselves. It's very important for the community and surrounding area.
Okay. And I'm going to put on the record that, with our deadlines, everything goes in the system on Friday. So the data, the paperwork that we have has been there. And it's not like it was just shoved up there just now. So, all right.
I would recommend, if I just may one last thing, I would recommend that, I don't want to miss this deadline. It is a huge deal. I don't want to miss the deadline to apply for this grant. Let's apply. There's no guarantee we'll get the grant that I know of. There's no guarantees. There may be other uses that or the projects that were awarded from around the state, around the country, or wherever they did USDA.
Somebody has to mute, Marlon. Somebody has to.
He's not muting. His thing is choppy. Sounds like a robot.
Again, and I'm connected directly to the internet here. I'm sorry. Let me fix it. Go ahead. Keep going.
No. We wanted you to add your comments and then open the public hearing up. So.
Am I still choppy? No.
You're legible though.
Yeah,
So-
it's choppy, but
Okay, you're legible, but you're choppy. So just take your time and speak.
Okay, so I don't have to restart. I think I don't want to miss this opportunity. There are no guarantees we're going to get this grant anyway. What I'll do is this week between now and next week, look for all the information, all the meetings, go through the minutes, see where the commission has discussed this. Present that information provided to Commissioner Cohen, Commissioner Jacobs, Commissioner Ray, and to the whole commission actually. And see where it was discussed. But I don't want to miss this opportunity. It's just an opportunity to get it not only designed and built. That's but it's a discussion. There's a greater discussion that has to be had as far as the uses, the programming, everything that's going to go on in there. But again, I don't want to miss out on this opportunity right now.
Okay, with that being said, I'm going to open the public comments. Is there anyone from the public that wishes to speak?
Hold on, let me unmute everybody. All right, everybody's unmuted, Mayor.
Is there anybody from the public that wishes to speak? No, then I'll close the public hearing section of this discussion. There's no more discussion. There's a motion on the floor.
No, it's not yet, Mayor. Actually, we need to go ahead and read the resolution.
Okay.
It's a resolution of the Town Commission of the Town of Pembroke Park, Florida, authorizing and directing the town to file an application for funding with the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services for Pembroke Park Community Garden Agro-Eco Park and Education Center, authorizing the appropriate town officials to execute any and all documents necessary to submit the application, superseding conflicting resolutions and providing an effective date. Whereas the town has developed the Community Garden Agro-Eco Park to educate members of the community of the benefits of a healthy diet, methods of growing their own fruits and vegetables, and to provide educational programs to have a healthier lifestyle. And whereas the current building located at the Raymond P. Oglesby Preserve is currently in poor condition and is not a suitable facility to conduct agro-eco educational activities for members of the community. And whereas the Town Commission desires to construct a new facility to provide a safe, accessible building to serve as the educational center for the community garden and related improvements. And whereas the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Affairs maintains a grant program, which offers financial assistance to local governments for facilities to promote agricultural education programs for their community residents. And whereas the proposed improvements to be completed with the grant funding would educate the public of the benefits and importance of agriculture in our society, and will serve a public purpose for the residents of South Florida. And whereas the Town Commission desires to apply for funding under the Agricultural Education Program to obtain funds to assist in the expenses in constructing the education center for the community garden and related improvements. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Town Commission of the Town of Pembroke Park, Florida, Section 1, that the above recitals are true and correct and are incorporated in this resolution by reference herein. Section 2, that the Town Commission approves the submission of the grant application to the Florida Department of Agriculture and Community and Consumer Services in the amount of $950,000, and hereby commits to the required local match of existing land having a current value of $472,130 for enhancement and improvements to the Pembroke Park Community Garden Agro-Eco Park and Education Center. Section 3, that the Town Commission hereby certifies that the project application is consistent with and compatible with all guidelines of the grant program as set forth in the Florida statutes and Florida Administrative Code. Section 4, that the town authorizes the appropriate town officials to execute any and all documents required to complete and submit the application on behalf of the town. Section 5, that the town agrees to comply with all procedures, guidelines, and requirements of the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services as part of the application process. Section 6, that the town acknowledges that the project scope and funding amount are subject to final approval by the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. Section 7, that all resolutions or parts of resolution in conflict being the same are hereby superseded. The extent of conflict. Section 7, that Section 8, that this resolution shall be enforced and take effect upon its passage and adoption.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Roll call.
Motion made by Vice Mayor Clark, seconded by Commissioner DeVille. Commissioner Cohen?
No.
Commissioner DeVille?
Because of the time limit, I have to say yes.
Clerk Commissioner Jacobs?
I do not want to say yes to this, but for the community, I will, because I think we're getting broadsided with this information. So yes.
Vice Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Mohammed?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-1.
Are we adjourned?
No, we got BSO.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay. You want me to go ahead and start?
Yes.
And before you
Okay.
proceed,
Yep.
Attorney Ryan, I asked this to be brought to the workshop so we could discuss it at the last meeting. That way we had time to go over this prior to.
Okay, well, this is an item that's time sensitive because the Broward Sheriff's Office has indicated that they had originally given a deadline for reply of September 4, 2020, and the town has not replied. And they're now indicating that since the town has not replied to their request, that they were prepared to go ahead and initiate litigation to collect amounts due. But let me go ahead and run through the background of this so that everybody understands what's going on and the consequences of the inactions or actions of the commission. The town has a current contract with Broward County Sheriff's Office to provide law enforcement and fire rescue services for the town. The town unilaterally quit paying paying for the services back in April of this year. So the town currently owes for April, May, June, July, August, and September. Okay.
Please wait, Attorney Ryan, please specify that was for law enforcement because the fire has been paid every month.
No, well they allege that that there's an underpayment of the fire, and I was going to get to that. Okay, that they're stating that they provide these services and they haven't been paid. And so on August 27th, they sent a demand letter to Mr. Jimenez as their town manager, stating the amounts that were due at that time and that they wanted a response. They're stating that the amount that's due for law enforcement services as of the end of August, not including the September payment, is $1,391,453.14. They're saying that additionally, since October of 2019, the town has been underpaying for contracted fire services by 5% per month. The amount due and payable BSO for underpayment of the fire services at the current rate is $311,219.70. That was as of through August. Okay, so they're stating that these amounts need to be paid to the town. Excuse me, by the town to BSO. The town has entered into a contract with BSO, and they provided the services, and the town has withheld payment. The town commission has not taken any official action to withhold the payment of these for these services. What has happened is that certain commissioners have unilaterally withheld signing checks that would be issued to BSO for the payment of these services. That is not a discretionary matter for any individual commissioner to make. So if in your official capacity as a commissioner, whether you be the mayor or the clerk commissioner or either the vice mayor or the alternate clerk commissioner, if you have a duty to fulfill, you fulfill the duty until such time as the commission takes official action not to do so. So these checks that have been presented needed to be signed and they needed to be sent to BSO. If there's discussion regarding the services that are being rendered for the amount that's being charged, that's another matter, and that obviously is a matter that's under discussion right now in the current litigation. That BSO has charged more for their services than they provided. Okay, and there should be a reduction. That's a matter to be determined in the courts. As it is right now, the town has an obligation to pay for the services that BSO has rendered. I don't recommend that the town withhold these payments. Once the payments have been made, then any kind of settlement or offsets for services rendered versus the amounts paid, that can be worked out by the parties either through the litigation or some negotiations, which they actually asked for. They're saying, please expect payment. We're available to meet in an effort to resolve this matter without the need for litigation. That's what they say in their demand letter. But the town has not responded in any manner, and so they have no alternative. But may I finish, Commissioner, please? The town has not responded in any manner, whether to say we're not paying, we're doing. It's hard to negotiate with somebody when you don't get any response at all. The town has an obligation. The town needs to pay this matter, pay these bills, and then once the bills are paid, the negotiations can be conducted You have competent counsel representing you in the litigation. No more than competent. Victor Berman is a very good attorney, and this could be a part of the settlement negotiations if it ever comes to that point. But right now, the money needs to be paid. The alternative is don't pay the money, and then you have you bring on more litigation, which the town does not need. Okay, pay the money, negotiate it, and go forward. And again, as I say, commissioners and whatever your duty, whatever your appointed office is, you need to perform the duties of your office until the town commission, as a body, not as an individual person, makes a decision otherwise.
So, Madam Mayor, may I ask a question?
Go ahead, Howard.
So what are you suggesting or recommending? What action do you want us to take in a form of a motion, whatever you want, or whatever you need to make this where we can pay this bill? I personally feel like you have an obligation to pay the bill.
Correct.
And then I would also like to ask the police commissioner, what is your reasoning for not paying the bill?
I think he was disconnected, sir. Hold on. His video froze. I think he's trying to get back in.
Well, okay, so is there any more discussion about this, Madam Mayor?
He does have to, excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt. Vice Mayor, he is unable to speak at the present time. He's trying to get back into the meeting.
Yeah.
His computer threw him off.
Yeah, okay, so instead of us just sitting, I can, we'll go back and figure out where we're at. What did the attorney, what are you suggesting? What motion do you want?
No, I don't think there's no motion that's required. The checks need to be signed and the payments need to be made to BSO. Okay, if there's going to be negotiations as to whether the amounts due or how much reduction we need to get based upon what it costs them to provide the services, fine, that goes forward. But at this time, it's the same as if, if you have a dispute with somebody else that you owe them money, you don't settle the dispute by just quit paying them the money. You got to pay the money that you've agreed to contractually, and then you resolve it. Okay, but more importantly is the town commission has not taken official action not to pay this. So with the town commission, taking action, individual commissioners cannot act on their own and make decisions that would affect the entire commission and the entire town.
Well, I guess my next question would be, do you know of any individual commissioners that are doing that?
It's my understanding that checks have been presented for signature and have not been signed, and because of the dispute with the payment. All checks in the town need to be signed by the mayor or the vice mayor in the absence of the mayor, and the clerk commissioner or the alternate clerk commissioner in the absence of clerk commissioner. So those are the individuals who need to sign the check.
Okay, if it comes up in front of me and with your direction, and I have signed them in the past, and I'm sure that everybody else would sign them if they're presented to them. So the only question I have is if there's a commissioner that feels otherwise, or I feel like let's just pay it. Let's pay it. We owe it.
Commissioner Jacobs has his hand up.
I was the one who said I wasn't going to sign. They haven't been providing the service that they're contracted to. I was the one who refused to sign. I take responsibility for that, okay? There's 5 commissioners that sit up here. I'm the one who took responsibility for that, saying that we need to negotiate with BSO. We need to come to the table with BSO. We need to discuss with BSO. And guess what we haven't done up to this point? Had that conversation with BSO. This is the first time I've heard that we haven't been paying our fire up to date, because we have. As far as I know, all the fire checks have been signed and paid. So there's a discrepancy in the payment. Again, this is one of those, we need to sit down and discuss with BSO and go over this. JC, one of those that we need to have a meeting.
Okay.
We need to sit down and discuss the services and the contract with BSO as we continue, as we are in the process of building our own police department due to lack of service from BSO. So Chris, again, I asked this to be brought to the workshop so we can discuss it then in an open forum and not be blindsided again by this. You know, this is getting a little ridiculous and this happening.
I beg to differ with the commissioner respectfully.
You could have
This
called
not
me.
being blindsided. This is a matter. This is a demand letter that was sent to the town on August 27th. Okay, and it's not an issue that has not been brought forward previously. You're well aware that the specs have not been done.
Just saying, my phone has been on, Attorney Ryan. I don't have any missed calls from you.
And well, yeah, that's correct. You don't have any missed calls from me, but this matter was presented to the town, and the commissioners, my understanding, the commissioners were aware of it. Today, the matter came to a head because BSO contacted Victor Berman, because Mr. Berman is representing the town and the litigation related to this matter, obviously, about past services that were provided. And the town paid extra for it, as the town states. So they said, listen, get this thing squared away or we're going to file suit. I mean, it's just it's straightforward as that.
For the discussion, we just need to make it happen.
Which part do you need to make happen?
I will set up a
discussion with BSO.
I will set up a meeting with BSO so we can have discussions. I will have the checks in hand to give to them at that meeting. And we can have a discussion with them and we can talk about all our issues. I'm unaware that we were underpaying on the fire contract, which is shocking me, but I'll double check with Harry tomorrow. But yeah, no, I will set up that meeting and I'll have that meeting.
And it should be noted, we're paying $3.5 million a year and we're splitting it with another town for fire services on a town 1.6 miles.
Understand, but the contract is the contract, and I mean, we have the checks printed out, ready to go. I will have those with me, and we go to the meeting, and I can.
Somebody needs to mute. I can't hear.
It's not about the
Commissioner Jacobs, I'd be the first one to agree with you to say that the town is paying a disproportionate amount of the expenses for this district, based on the town's population for both fire and for law enforcement. But the matter is, before us is that is the way the previous administration had negotiated, and that's where we are at this point. And until this current administration makes a commission makes a different, more favorable agreement to the town, you have to abide by the terms of the prior.
Okay, and Chris, I understand that, but understand they were not coming to the table to negotiate. Withholding their payment was the way to get them to the table to negotiate. So now we're at the point where we can open that conversation with them. They didn't want to have it with us before, but guess what? Now that there's $1 million on the table, they want to have that discussion. So now it's time to have that discussion.
And I agree. If the intention is to bring them to negotiations, but they presented a offer for negotiations from back in August 27th, and there's been no response to the town. Say let's schedule a meeting for September 10th or September 20th, whatever it is. So something needs to be done. But I would recommend that they're contacted, payment is made, and then you can always get offsets against future services, or you can get repayment, whatever. But the bottom line is, when you make a contract, you make an agreement for somebody, and until you renegotiate the agreement or change the terms in some manner, you're obligated to continue paying under the terms that you have.
Chris, I do not disagree with you, but they would not come to the table to negotiate. This got them to the table. Now they want to negotiate. We have the check signed. They're in Harry's office. He has them. So now we're able to have that discussion. So JC just said he's going to have it. So this is an issue that we're going to continue with.
Okay, so there's, as long as Mr. Jimenez contacts him tomorrow, lets him know that we need to sit down with him immediately. They need some feedback. They need to know what the town's position is, and then between now and maybe next week's meeting, there can be some discussion, or at least an initiation of the discussion, so that you can work towards a resolution of these payments.
I will set that up tomorrow, and Chris, I will I'll let you know. So when the date is, so you can maybe join me with that, on that meeting.
And I'll also, the letter is from their general counsel, so I'll contact counsel and let them know. And then you can work through the administrative side of Mr.
Okay. All right. So other than that, we don't have anything else, correct? Okay, so then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll second. Thank you.
Motion to adjourn, okay.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. See you next week on the
23rd?
23rd, yes.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. Good night. Thank you, everyone.
This conference is no longer being recorded.
So who was trying this? Okay. Okay. Bye, guys.